Hi everybody, welcome back to Project Happy Home. For those of you who are new here, I'm Tanya, a doctor, lawyer turned homeschool mom of 3 kids ages 15, 12, and 10. In today's video, I will be going over some of my product empties, but if you are interested in videos about secular homeschooling, raising a child with ADHD, and living a more essentialist lifestyle, particularly as a mom in her 40s, this is the place for you. So I would really appreciate it if you would take a second and hit that subscribe button somewhere down below the video. I do a mishmash of videos here. There are over 400 videos on this channel already, ranging in topic area from homeschooling and homeschooling curricula to parenting an ADHD student, to skincare and a whole host of other things that are relevant to moms in this stage of life. So if any of that is interest to you, be sure to check out my old playlist, hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate the support. So I have not done one of these in a long time. This is just a quick product empties. I always say quick, it always ends up being long, but I will try to do my best to keep it tight this time. I used to be a physician and my little pet area of interest has always been derm. So I like looking at ingredient decks. I like looking at what ingredients are actually scientifically vetted, what things might actually help us in our skincare journey. I was one of those people who had very non-problematic skin all the way through to my mid-30s. And after the birth of my last child, right around 37, 38, I started to experience hormonal acne, and it came out of nowhere for me. It was a big surprise. My skin started to feel drier, more irritated, more sensitive. One thing I would like to open with though is whenever you look at skincare influencer videos, be mindful of who you're following for what advice, because I will say that if I had made these videos at 30, 32, 33, I had no skincare concerns. I literally could have said any host of products was fine because nothing was happening to my skin. In all honesty, I think I could have done very, very little and had exactly the same non-problematic skin. So try to find somebody who's experiencing the same types of skincare changes you might be having or has the same type of skin type, because I think it can be really helpful to crowdsource from people who are experiencing the same skin changes or skin concerns that you might be feeling. So for me, I have combination skin that tends to have drier patches on my cheeks, around my mouth, etc., but it's really oily combo. So like my T-zone stays fairly oily and shiny. Today I have on my face my very favorite tinted sunscreen, which is DRMTLGY's Universal Tinted Moisturizer SPF 47. I've talked about it a million times. I actually have one here. So in terms of product empties, we can start with that. I have this all the time. This one is actually their matte version. I like their original. I've decided I like the straight up original dewy finish one. The matte finish is a little bit more matte. I wanted to try it out to see if I liked it. It's not my favorite. The color is a universal tint, so even though it comes out a little bit orangey here, you can see it really does dry down to a totally universal shade. Like there's no white cast, and there's not too much shine. It's a lot less dewy than their original formula. I like the dewy finish. I just like the dewy finish. It's really a matter of personal preference. This is zinc oxide and octinoxate in this one. The zinc oxides in tinted sunscreens are very helpful in terms of helping with our melasma, with our hyperpigmentation. So if you have any of those skincare concerns, try to use a tinted sunscreen because those ingredients provide just a little bit of extra protection for you in the sun, especially during the summer. In terms of finish, wear, etc., I like this just fine. Like honestly, I didn't like have an issue with it. I personally just prefer a slightly more glowy finish, and I don't like layering a million different moisturizers or luminizers or anything like that on my skin. My daily skincare, the last step is sunscreen, and I don't really use any kind of base or makeup over it. It's just, that's what I use. So if you're a one and done kind of girly, this is a great product to look into. I am an affiliate, by the way, and I will put my affiliate link down below. But yeah, I have never stopped buying their universal tinted sunscreen since I started using it. Another product that I have here is the Advanced Snail Radiance Dual Essence from Cosrx. I love this. I think this is so nice. If you like snail mucin, if you like their moisturizing cream, if you like their essence, this might be a good one to look into, particularly if you like niacinamide in your skincare routine. Niacinamide is a really good ingredient for hyperpigmentations. Hyperpigmentation is one of my main concerns. Everyone you see on the internet, I have no filter right now on my phone or anything. This is just my iPhone phone camera, but it gives my skin a slightly more uniform finish than it really does have in reality. Like, my skin definitely does have hyperpigmentation. I don't know if you can see right there, and definitely worse on my right cheek. I happen to have the good fortune of having my hormonal acne kind of like where one would put contour. So where I get my hyperpigmentation is kind of like a natural contour. That being said, I'd like to get rid of it. So I like using ingredients like niacinamide in my skincare routine. I like ingredients to be combined into as few products as possible. So I appreciate having the snail mucin in combination with like a nice therapeutic dose of niacinamide in this dual essence. It's a dual chambered pump, as you can see. So it has two different sections, and as you pump them out, they come out together. I pretty much used it up completely, but you can see there's a little dual release thing there. And as you pump it out, you get like this slightly more opaque essence and a clearer one. And it has a really nice hydrating finish and feel. It's not as sticky or as tacky as the pure snail mucin. If that's a textural issue for you, this might be something to try as well. But I really like this. I think that in terms of the snail mucin part of my routine, this is what I prefer using. And this is generally the last thing I use on my skin after essences and serums, but right before my moisturizer, because it is slightly more thick. Another sunscreen that I love, you can see how much I love it because of how little I have left, is the Beauty of Joseon Relief Sun with rice and probiotics. And this is SPF 50 PA++++. If you don't know about PAs, it's basically telling you about the protection you have against UVA rays. When we talk about UVA rays and UVB rays, an easy way to remember it is that UVB rays have a lot to do with burns and sunburns, whereas UVA rays has a lot to do with aging. So A for aging in that sense. Obviously, there's overlap there, but in one simplistic way of looking at it, that's one way to look at it. So you always want to make sure you have broad spectrum protection, meaning you have UVA protection as well as UVB protection. I really do love using Asian skincare and Asian sun care in particular, because a lot of the filters that Asian sunscreens use are more heat stable than the filters that we use in America that are broad spectrum. That a lot of the filters that are used in American sunscreens will break down quicker in sunlight, in heat, than the Asian filters will. I also really like the finish on Asian sunscreens, particularly if you don't have a tinted version, etc. So I'll just keep showing you on this hand, but this has a creamy finish. You can tell it's not really going anywhere. It's not too watery or slippy, but it's very, very nice and moisturizing. It is very moisturizing, actually. That's another nice thing about a lot of the Asian sunscreens is you could probably forego moisturizer, particularly if you have no normal to combo skin, and just use the sunscreen. So again, a one and done kind of step. It helps you take care of your skin without too much fuss, too much muss. This is a product by Dr. Malaxin that I bought from Instagram because I kept seeing their ad and it was late at night and I don't know what to say. I thought, you know, I'll give it a go. So it was their whole kit. So it had their moisturizer, their serum ampule here, their cleanser, and something else. But I really like their serum. I saw a definite difference, and that does not happen that often, particularly after one bottle's use. So this lasted me probably about 2.5, 3 months. Just a couple drops will do ya, and it's basically tranexamic acid as well as niacinamide. Now, tranexamic acid has been used both topically and orally for hyperpigmentation. It affects one part of the pathway in what causes melanin to accumulate inside your cells to create that hyperpigmentation, especially in response to injury like acne, etc. And yeah, so you can see it's got a very nice glass dropper with this tiny little bulbous tip. That actually really helps to have like a controlled delivery of the serum. I've used every single drop of it, but you can see it's a fairly clear serum, slightly watery. It'll go down a little bit, but very nice texture, not very gummy at all, absorbs right in no issues. I saw a marked difference. I really did. This has, like I said, tranexamic acid and niacinamide. So this was sort of my dedicated product in the mornings and in the evenings for hyperpigmentation for the duration of time that I used it. I did repurchase it because I really do feel like it made a difference. Now, as I mentioned, it does come as a part of a kit. You can buy it on its own. It was very affordable. The cleanser is like an oil-based type of foaming cleanser. I wasn't a fan. I really wasn't. I didn't like the texture too much. I don't really believe in spending too much money on cleansers because they're on your skin for such a short amount of time. If you do spend money on cleansers, I would say stop. There's a lot, all the effective ingredients you would find in cleansers, particularly cleansers with like exfoliating acids, you can find in the drugstore, and they're very affordable. This cream though, the moisturizer that is part of this collection, I really did like, and that also has tranexamic acid and niacinamide, and it had a really nice thick texture. So I would use that mostly as a spot treatment, basically over my moisturizer or under my moisturizer in the areas of hyperpigmentation. So the combination really did seem to do something for me. Another little product that I have here is the Medicate OxyR peptides. Now, Medicate OxyR peptides basically is a combination of resveratrol as well as peptides. We've talked about peptides here a lot before. Peptides, there's a whole host of different peptides that do different things, but they have a lot of anti-aging benefits. They have a lot of antioxidant benefits, etc. So you're talking about more addressing fine lines and wrinkles than you are, for example, hyperpigmentation here with these peptides. Resveratrol as well, same basic category of things that you're addressing. So I really like the delivery mechanism of this though. It's very cool. So this is not the lid that you actually use with it. There's a pipette and a dropper. But when you get the bottle, there's a liquid base in here and the active ingredients are actually reserved within the cap. So when you buy it, you get two different little bottles with the cap, and you deploy the active ingredients by attaching it and pushing down on the cap and then shaking for a certain amount of time so that the ingredients can mix and activate. And I like that small dose, timed release kind of thing. You feel like you're getting a fresh product, all of that stuff. But I liked it. I didn't have any reactions to it. I really liked how it applied on my skin and how it absorbed. It has a very precise direction on it to dispense just 6 drops with the glass dropper onto your hand. It was fun. Did I see any marked results in my skin, changes in my skin? Not really, but again, this is addressing sort of a preventative thing. It's addressing the formation of fine lines and wrinkles, and knock on wood, so far I'm 45. I don't have too many yet, but I like incorporating peptides because I think that the science is getting there. If the peptides are actually entering your skin barrier, then they should theoretically be doing what they're supposed to. The question is, with peptides always, are they small enough to actually penetrate your skin barrier? So that's one of the reasons why I don't really ever spend money on the cheaper formulations of peptides, because I don't think that they're formulated in such a way to enhance the delivery of that active ingredient. Right. So another one of my products that I always have on hand, this is just a perpetual repurchase for me, is the Evan thermal spring water. So I always buy the gigantic canister of it. This is probably one of my most bougie products. Do you need a thermal spring water? Certainly not. This comes from the springs over there. So it's like mineral spring water. This is made in France. I really do like it though. I find it very soothing. As I mentioned, as I entered my late 30s, my skin became a lot more reactive and irritated, prone to dryness, particularly with the use of retinol products. And I just like this. Sometimes I don't wash my face in the morning, often I don't. So I just rehydrate my face with this. So I'll show you, the mist is not as good now that it's at the end, but it's a very fine mist. Like it just feels really nice on the skin. So in the mornings, generally I'll just mist my face all over. Now the mist is bigger, so I'll probably put little water droplets on me, but I love it. I think it's so refreshing and nice, and I don't know that it's necessary, but I love it. It's one of my go-tos. Another one of my sun care favorites for the summer in particular is any kind of Polypodium leucotomus extract. So I use these from Sunisden. They have new packaging now. They used to look really different, but they're basically little black capsules. I've used all of them, so I can't show you. They're little brown capsules, like normal size, you know, I don't know, like as long as your fingernail maybe. And basically Polypodium leucotomus is the ingredient you want to look for, because there are cheaper versions out there too. It basically increases your own inherent protection from sun damage. So I'm willing to give it a go, particularly in the summer when I do a lot of driving of the kids. I'm out in the sun all the time, and it just seems like a good time to enhance my own inherent skin care protection. Every single dermatologist that I know personally uses it, so that's another little thing that makes me want to use it. This is the Neostrata neck cream. Now, if you are on TikTok, you have heard this is the neck cream of neck creams. It will change everything about your neck. I have these horizontal tech necklines. I've actually had them all my life to some extent, but I will say they have gotten worse in my 40s. And this is a triple firming neck cream. You know, it's got peptides, yada, yada, yada. I was not that impressed. Now, granted, I've only used one of these. It's a very, very thick cream. As you can see, it's like going nowhere. Right? Very thick, very hydrating, feels really nice on the skin. You know, like I will say that it has like a really nice texture, especially for such a thick cream. It absorbs fairly quickly. I just didn't see any results whatsoever on my neck with this, like none. And another neck cream that I had used was the Go Pure neck cream. I'd used a couple of bottles of that, or a couple of jars of that, and I saw a marked difference. Like I saw a marked improvement while I was using it. So I'm gonna actually go back to that, and then probably with my next product, Empties, I'll be able to tell you like a direct comparison in terms of what I think. I've noticed that with my neck, particularly in my 40s, I use sun care protection, you know, regularly, like every day of my life on it. But I will say I have used sunscreen on my face almost my entire life since I was 10 or 12. I have not done that for my neck. I probably only started using sunscreen on my neck in my 30s. So there is a difference, and I can notice it myself. Another product that I like a lot, this is my like third one, is the Lipid Gold Eye Cream by Stratia. Stratia makes a wonderful moisturizer that I love called Lipid Gold. It used to be called Liquid Gold, and then they changed the name. It is just the nicest texture. I love it. And I think I've used every single bit of this, so I don't know that I can show you. It has a slightly yellow color. Yeah, I've used every single bit of this. I don't think I can open this to show you, but you can kind of see at the top there, that color. That's the color of the cream. It doesn't look yellow on your skin or anything, but it's meant to be, you know, skin strengthening, improving your skin barrier. It's got very hydrating ingredients. It has ceramides, cholesterol, fatty acids in this particular balance that's designed to support your skin barrier. And to me, it really, really does. It's not a very thick lotion, so if you don't like thick lotions, it might appeal to you. I use about 3 to 4 pumps of the moisturizer on my face. And I got the eye cream as part of like a package. You know, I bought it all myself. I like it. Do I think you need a dedicated eye cream? I am still torn on this. I have never really had too many eye issues, so I've never really needed a focused eye cream, but you know, having one reminds you to take product up there, so that's one thing. But I think that the moisturizer is light enough and soothing enough and gentle enough that you could just honestly buy the moisturizer and use that on your eye area as well. All right, you guys, as promised, I tried to keep it small this time. So these are the products that I've emptied, I would say, since maybe May. And I tend to have a lot of repeats if you follow my skincare empties, because while I try new things, I generally will stick to the tried and true products in my routine. If you have any questions about your own skincare routine, etc., if you'd like me to point you in the direction of products that I think might be helpful to you, be sure to comment down below and check me out on Instagram as well, because I will often respond to people who come into my DMs there just asking me about a skincare concern or what I might recommend at the drugstore, etc. It really is like my pet hobby to keep up to date on skincare ingredients and skincare products. And I don't think that anyone really has perfect skin, particularly if they are sort of going the natural route with it. And so crowdsourcing what is working for all of us is really, really helpful. So if you have products that have been of a great help to you, particularly as a woman in your 40s, I would love to hear that down below. Like, what kind of eye creams do you like? What kind of moisturizers do you like? Do you think thermal spring water is a complete waste of money? All of that, just say your spiel. But yeah, I love to help you guys out personally, so be sure to ask any questions that you have, and I will give you the, you know, best recommendations I have. I have recommendations, all types of price points, probably not the most expensive because I tend to stay away from that. It is just a hobby of mine, so I'm always happy to help. As always, you guys, thank you so much for spending some of your time with me. I really do appreciate it, and I wish you the very best day.